I'm off that I need to get to sleep. So like last night I was out with Pascal from Ledger at 1:30 at night. Okay, so I woke up at 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
the
I'm
way to
not
do it.
going at 1:30 at night and then waking up at 7 to do a phone call with somebody. No, I'm too old for that. I did that in previous years in the markets and dealing with that kind of thing. Anyways, do we get going or?
Yeah, we're on.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
We're on.
Are you going to edit at all?
We're going to edit some part, obviously.
Oh, I had no idea that we were on.
I like the organic start.
Yeah. So the question is in the morning. Yeah. So look, bottom line, my first job really was at Tiger Management in the early 90s. But even though I went in at 3 o'clock, I would leave it around noon, 1 o'clock. I used to go to bed at around 6 p.m. and I would wake up at 2:30. I still got my 8.5 hours of sleep, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I feel without that, you're always functioning suboptimally.
Absolutely. I mean, for me also, like I'm 33, but I also like completely organized my life like that since probably 6, 7, 8 years, because I realized if my brain doesn't work, I cannot make the right decisions. If I cannot make the right decisions, the impact is much less. And it's not only with work, it's also with relationship, being present, having your brain working.
Can't be creative. It's impossible to be creating. I had a period in my life where I was very overweight after college. I used to work out 4 or 5 hours a day, and then all of a sudden I'm still working out, an hour a day, but it's not the same intensity as I used to. And I gained a tremendous amount of weight, gained 50 pounds between graduating college, 22, 23, and age 30, around when I was married. I was the heaviest, I would say. On my wedding day, if you see a picture, you don't recognize me. And I think, I was still working out, but it was very unbalanced. My diet and maybe my sleep wasn't great. There's so many different things. So that's why it's hard. You want me to, on the spot, order them in terms of priority so that I can give you something clear. I guess at the root of everything, well, if you broaden it out, who am I? At very first, I'm a father and a husband. That's at the very first. My kids are very important to me, even though, they sometimes don't want to have anything to do with me, or they're busy, or I can call them and they won't respond. But, it's different. I feel like being a father, there's a very big difference between men who are not fathers and men who are fathers. Very difficult. Got together and, this is the early 1960s. And so, they were from a similar background, sort of, and the families knew each other from business, and they're about the same age, but there wasn't as much of a personality fit. So it wasn't something that was going to last, but it also made me a very independent. I used to spend my childhood years going back and forth from New York, often to Paris. My whole father's family lived there. My grandmother, my uncle, my cousins, she just spent $20,000 on a dress and she's ridiculous and I can't, what's going on? How am I going to live with this? Right? That kind of thing. And you're thinking, what did I get myself into? Right? But the reality is my wife and I have a very similar value system about the important things. And we also have, we figured that out beforehand. We were going out for a few years beforehand. I told you I met her. I don't know if this was recording before. We met her very close to here by mistake. But, if undeveloped. I'm not saying they won't or they don't have the capacity, but, as a little bit of an older guy in the crypto blockchain space, it's like you have to deal with a lot. The average age is 28 of the guys in the space. So you have to deal with a lot of young people and know how to manage them. I can't say that I'm the best at that. I have guys on my team, other partners who maybe are better. I know what they don't know. I know what they need to learn, but I'm coming from such a different place that they can't imagine, really. And it is an effort for me. I have high risk tolerance. I like uncertainty only because if there's no uncertainty, you'll not make any money, and you certainly won't have any success. So that's the problem. You have to be comfortable knowing that there's a lot of stuff you don't know, because that stuff that you don't know is what's keeping other people from, let's say, making the investment, if you want to specifically talk about investment.
And money.
Yeah.
Because because you said if you don't make money, success is defined in money terms.
Well, I'm a money manager and I'm an investment fund manager, and I've been doing this, but I'm not phased anymore. I mean, maybe I'm just older and I've lost a little bit of that crazy, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you have a excess of testosterone and everything else, and now you're older and it goes away. I don't know, but I'm not shaken anymore really by anything, because I've had a lot of, volatility, and I've had a lot of failure as well, and then come back and had success. So you do that enough times, and it's very immediate. When you manage a portfolio, I was at global apps for the rest of 94, and then in 95, 96, 97, those bonds, went to basically zero yield. So they ended up, I had this view in 93 that Japanese yields would go to zero for a long time. And they were at the time like 7, 6, 5%. So it's a very sort of bold call. And what you realize is that you can be right on the long term, but I was completely carried out in the short term. And so that's and I learned that many times, maybe not to that degree again, but that's not been successful in running a business. He manages a giant business, and he's actually trading a lot less these days. But in terms of his ability to understand nuance and feel the winds changing in a very short term, there's nothing like that. So I learned from him a little bit how to trade short term. It's not really my interest, though. I'm much more longer term, big picture, macro. But it's valuable to be able to see the very short term as well. It's just not my natural style. We had a portfolio about $1 billion that we managed together for a little while, and ability to write is one of the 3 most important things in being a successful investor. If you can't write, you can't articulate clearly your views are pointless, literally. That's another thing. Working for these guys for 20 years, I was able to be successful because I could be clear in why I had a view. And I would say, listen, this is the risk. We could risk $1 over the next 6 months. I think we can make 5. Here are the 5 reasons. Boom. I'll be wrong if X, Y, Z happen. I'll be right if A, B, C happen. So clarity, simplicity, very important. But for me, it's that.
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support. Enjoy the video.